So this was definitely different. It's been 4 years, and you always learn more things I always thought I would have done in previous shows. I kind of, you're kind of afraid to try some, and my previous shows, I always planned on, going on to like a national cycle and going on to, use a regional show to go to nationals, and this wasn't the case. And biggest difference was me and my wife were both doing it, and you always have mixed opinions or mixed advice on that, because you're both like food depleted. Is it good for the family? Actually, we actually did very well with it. We looked at it like a challenge. And probably the biggest thing was obviously looking at, from a business standpoint, genetic testing, changing things up with that was stuff I never did before. And one, it helped better understand a better way to prep, but two, that I didn't anticipate was it made it more of a game. So it kind of, if I do the, because I like that scientific side of things, so it's like having that to kind of, promote business, promote a certain way to do things, it kind of took my mind off a lot of the other things, and made it more of a game. So that, it just mentally it helps a ton, because it is. I mean you can get fatigued, you can get tired, it gets drawn out. Cutting for a bodybuilding show is a lot different than I have a friend that that would wrestle, and they'd drop 10 pounds in a week, and I wasn't trying to hit a weight class. So you're trying to lose as much fat as possible, but maintain every ounce of muscle possible. So that's why you have to drag it out for a while, and it can get tedious and it can get tiresome, and then you start second guessing yourself. But yeah, giving that aspect of just making it more of a game, I don't know, it made prep easier, especially with my wife doing the same thing. We both kind of looked at it that way. And we were just talking about this the other day. She asked me, because everyone has their opinions anyways, like, oh, I think it's going good. And then you ask the other one, no, this is terrible. But no, she asked me, she's like, has things been good? I'm like, yeah, actually it went very well. We didn't, there were some knucklehead conversations we had where, we had to remind each other that we had just talked about that. Oh yeah, that's right. Because sometimes you kind of get a little spacey here and there, but no, it was, I missed it. I'm always a competitor. I did miss it. There are things in prep that.
So it's been how long?
So it's been 4 years. Yeah, because my last one was summer of 2020. 2021. So yeah, 4 years, or just over. Battled some injuries. When you think you're done, I didn't lift as hard as I used to for a little while. Shoulder injuries, had a meniscus issue in my left knee. But once I got back after it again, I think I recouped quite a bit of the muscle that I'd lost. I'm not as big as I was 4 years ago, just, in body test, skeletal muscle wise. I have lost some muscle, but I'm 45 years old now. So, there are some things that definitely change over time.
What's been the biggest difference with the genetic testing that has changed the way you prep for this one versus last?
So, when I did the food sensitivity test, which was like sometimes ignorance is bliss, but understanding and knowing that, like, I showed a sensitivity to beef and turkey, which I ate every day, literally every day. So I took it out, and I did more bison. I did shrimp, more chicken. Those were fine. I also had a sensitivity to sweet potatoes, which I ate almost every day. So my go-to carbs, which is very similar for most bodybuilders, is, you know, white rice and sweet potatoes. So that's just what you do as a bodybuilder, right? You're supposed to eat white rice, sweet potatoes. So I did. And so I did cut sweet potatoes out, stuck with white rice, and did bison, shrimp, chicken most of the time. I did some orange roughy quite a bit. Now bison's quite a bit more expensive, but I noticed the water retention was completely, I mean, there was never a time where I really held water, you know, and especially when you get really lean. Because some people say, oh, I think I'm holding water. And it's like, when you're not single digit body fat, it's really hard to see if you're really retaining water truly. You know, sometimes it's just indigestion. But I mean, I'm very lean. And when you get really lean and you start seeing skin striations and little, you know, 7-8 veins going through the body, it's like, that's when you know you're holding onto water or not. I didn't have any of that. Zero. Absolutely zero. Which is going to be some inflammation. And then my wife, on the other hand, beef and turkey were fine. So that was one thing too, is we did the same foods. Right. But then when we did that, yeah, we had to change things up. But rice for her was just like sweet potatoes were for me. So she did sweet potatoes, I did rice. Yeah, so yeah, our preps were completely different in terms of the foods that we used. And she is, because she competed, it's been a while for her too, and this was, I mean, she even said it was almost a breeze of a prep, like almost, I mean, I don't want to say easy, but she almost said that. I mean, and the way her body responded completely differently than her second show, which was her last one. So this is her third show. Again, same thing. I mean, just understanding which foods to take in made a world of difference.
So like, what are some of those differences that you could tell in your nutrition was different this time because of the testing? So what were the things you noticed?
The main thing is that people physically see is going to be water retention. But I'll tell you what, sleep was better, recovery was better. She had a big difference too that I could see. Her sleep and recovery, every time she's ever done a show before, she would get drained, ran down, you know, I mean, she was up and at 'em like it was, you know, I mean, night and day difference, understanding which foods to put in. We also, again, even just take the food sensitivity test out, just straight DNA test. She trained differently. You know, I was one like we had on that, you know, I was the, you know, who was right, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Mike Mentzer. Well, in my opinion, you know, it was Mike Mentzer. That's who I thought was right. And Julie did her DNA test, and before I had her working out like really, really, really intense for like 30, 35 minutes, like four days a week. DNA test said she can work out significantly more for longer, so she didn't have to just go burn herself out and you know, because that's how I responded. And so her workouts were a lot better. Her cardio was different. She had enhanced ability to lose fat due to well, she didn't have to do it as much. She could go, you know, do less of it. I don't think she ever hit an hour a day on a walk, but you know, she was doing 30, you know, a couple 10-minute walks, a couple 15-minute walks, a couple 35-minute walks, and then boom, right back to bed. So she wasn't spinning her wheels. Mine was very, very similar. I didn't hit the hour and 15, hour 20-minute cardio sessions. Mine, I think the most I went was about 35 minutes, you know, because you start looking at that stuff and it's like, okay, because what happens is we burn ourselves out and then people just say that's the grind. You know, if I feel like shit, it's because I'm working really hard. No, if you feel like shit, you're doing something wrong. You know, I mean, that's really the case. And oh no, you know, it has to be miserable and you have to be grumpy and you have to be irritable. It's like, no, I mean, we're supposed to be, obviously we're depleted. Yes, bodybuilding is something that you only compete in a very weak state. But at the same time, you do not have to be miserable. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, your kids don't have to run when dad come home because you're, you know, because you're just, you know, not yourself or whatever. It's like, if you train the way your body is supposed to work, if you eat the way your body is going to optimally perform in, you're going to get a heck of a lot better, faster, more effective results. And again, we look at, you know, so-called side effects of anything, but I mean, a lot of people, I mean, side effects of bodybuilding can be, yeah, you're ran down, you're depleted, you're irritable, but also we can mitigate those things if you do it the right way. You know, and that was something I've never done before. I didn't know, I didn't have any of those tests. I mean, who knows, you know, all the foods I kept eating that I shouldn't have. I mean, if I'd have just known that, how much, you know, how much further. Now again, did I look good? Did I do good? Did I win shows in the past? Absolutely. But in a sport where you're literally judged by this person, by, you know, this much water retention, this much here and there, or you either had to overwork something that you're undercompensating for. Again, now that affects sleep. Now your stress goes up more. It's like, you know, if somebody can manage sleep, recovery, and stress, those three things in bodybuilding, most of the time the body will do what it's supposed to do. But we get into this point where we just start stressing out, we add too much stuff to it, and it's just like you're fighting an uphill battle. This show was not an uphill battle for me or my wife. It just wasn't, you know. Time will tell the results, you know. I mean, we're both happy either way. I mean, gosh, we're no spring chickens anymore, but I mean, there was nothing I really felt was a big uphill battle, like a lot of the stress and stuff we put on in, you know, just previous shows.
Right.
That's the fun part.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you looking forward to most?
Man, you know, right after
The pizza party?
Yeah, definitely a pizza. Dude, man, pepperoni pizza just sounds amazing for some reason.
I saw that Facebook invite.
Yeah, right. You know, probably the hardest thing, my daughter is running the state cross country meet today, and I don't miss any. I never miss things. I'll go on stage around 10. She runs at 10:15. Main thing I really want to is I told her right after you get done with that, you better call me immediately because I'll probably be done. That I look forward to the most. But outside of that, we are going to go. I'll probably get a burger and fry tonight.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go to Exile Brewery Company.
Exile,
Yeah, because I think they're still open at that time. Yeah. And then my wife's parents, they're in town. My in-laws are in town. There's a little local breakfast place in Indianola, Kraus Cafe. I'll probably go get some pancakes and biscuits and gravy or something, you know. And Indianola just so happened to open up a brand new ice cream place I've been told I'm supposed to go to. But yeah, the pizza, that's a Wednesday thing because they're closed. You know, but I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna go right back to exactly what I was doing. I mean, meal portions will be different. I'll definitely gain some weight, but again, I'm gonna run the exact. I'm literally gonna run the exact same plan I've been doing, eating on the foods I'm supposed to eat, staying away from the ones I'm not, training the way I'm supposed to. Julie's doing the same thing. She goes, yeah, she's gonna, you know, go into a building season, take her judge feedback, go from there. But you know, one of the things that a lot of people need to understand, and I do, is I just feel better. You know, yeah. I mean, am I going to gain some weight? Yeah, I'll gain some weight. Good weight. You know, it's hard being very, very lean. Right. You know, it'll feel great gaining some weight. But outside of that, I mean, if I ate that pizza, if I ate that burger every day, if I ate, you know, biscuits and gravy and pancakes every day and ice cream, I'm going to feel like shit. You know, I'm going to look terrible, but I'm going to feel like shit.
Which of those were on your food sensitivity test?
Well, the burger, because of the beef. Now, again, it's a mild, which doesn't mean I can't have it. It just means I shouldn't have it very often. Right. You know, once a week or something like that. Good thing is ice cream's totally fine for me. I have like no issues with dairy. So ice cream's totally fine for me. You know, but I mean, then you start getting into pancakes and biscuits and gravy. You know, it was funny because I showed no issues with gluten, but I have an issue with wheat and barley. So think of that. So it's not the, you know, because a lot of people say stuff like, well, I have an issue with dairy, it's clearly the lactose. Yeah, not necessarily. You know, so again, I have no issue, but yet how do you go get, you know, readily available gluten? There is, it's in wheat and barley. So, I mean, which pretty much means for an optimal life, I pretty much need to have like a gluten-free type of diet. And really, I mean, again, going to, you know, rice and certain foods made it a lot better. But yeah, I mean, most of those things, I mean, obviously pizza, I mean, I don't even know what pepperoni is, but you know, it's mystery meat, you know, obviously it's, you know, there's pork and all sorts of stuff, you know. But in all reality, yeah, just it's all that processed stuff. But, you know, am I going to, you know, continue my life eating pizza? Absolutely, you know, but just like it was before, it just wasn't that often. And then, because I can tell, as soon as I go off most of my meal planning, eating clean, I don't sleep as well. I can even tell, even my like business ambition is down. Like I can tell I'm just not like, I'm just not as motivated. You know, it affects my motivation, you know, and I think it affects most people's. I just don't think they realize it. You know, you start moving, start getting activated, you know, everything else just kind of starts kicking from there because you can, you know, you can control what you can control. And food and fitness is the easiest things to control because no one else is involved. You know, I mean, if someone's in sales, I can't control if someone buys or says yes or no. I can't control, but I can control if I eat better. Nobody else is I mean, I can literally control 100% of that, you know, and then at that point the mood gets better and better. But yeah, I just feel so much better. Plus I save a ton of money. I mean, food's such a waste of money, you know. I mean, if someone's always on the go eating and, you know, it's like, here, go find the foods that you need, buy them, go grocery shopping, buy them, find ways to prepare them in ways that you're going to enjoy cooking it, find recipes, you'll save a ton of money. But yeah, I'm definitely ready to, yeah, I mean, I'll go through a little hiccup and have some fun food, but it won't last over a week, that's for sure. It won't even last a full week.
Is there anything you're nervous about?
Oh yeah, I mean, nerves are good. You know, I mean, I always have high expectations, and but that's that thing is you can't control people. You know, I think I look good, but it's always that guy that you don't know who's coming. Sometimes you're like, oh no, that guy looks better though, or you know. I mean, I've won shows, I've lost shows, and you know, at the end of the day, yeah, you know, it's always the unknown, you know. But that's kind of that. I never wanted to lose a show because I didn't think that I wasn't all in. You know, I didn't try hard enough. You know what? I skipped that one workout, or I ate that one meal, you know, and that's why, like, during prep, it's like it's so important to follow your plan. So at the end of the day, you can be, well, I mean, if somebody beat me, it's just because they're better, you know, but not because, oh, well, I screwed that one up. So, but no, I mean, I'm definitely nervous. I mean, I got high expectations, but yeah, I'm definitely, you know, you just never know who the judges are gonna like that day. You know, I mean, there's a criteria, but you know, there's always room for interpretation. And but yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I think nerves are good. Makes you know you're alive.
What's in the duffel bag?
So I got some dumbbells, I've got some heavy bands, some light bands, magical rice cakes. every bodybuilder has to have rice cakes. I've got my my non-stimulant pre-workout in there for a little bit of blood flow, and then nerds, because the primary ingredient is dextrose, which is a faster sugar than like corn syrup and stuff like that. So, and they just taste good. So I'll pop a couple of those and get the blood, get the blood sugar spiked a little bit. Hopefully keeps a pump. But yeah, I got 50 pounds worth of dumbbells in there and some bands. So take that backstage to the little camp back there and get a pump before stage.
Well, good luck out there.
Thank you.